Stress Ltd. Exactly what it sounds. I work in IT and web hosting. We have more than 4,000 paying customers, and we are growing quite fast and quite well. My experience, so this will be a short presentation, then we can have coffee, and then I'll talk about email security, something that I wanted to leave for the second thing, as I really think and believe that most of us will need to improve that. So, one of the topics that are when I'm being approached, hey Helmut, I want to start an online shop, I want to sell something online, make me something. Andres, does it sound? Yes? So, let us say Andres comes and says, look, I need a shop, yes? And then you haven't got a clue, absolutely, yes? Andres. And at that point, if you do not know how to create websites, quite often you would find a person who you would make that person a partner of yours. You would give him or her shares. I think that is stupid. I think that's absolutely stupid for giving away shares in a company that just that somebody will be doing his job. But well, these are things to be learned. So, and this is a short presentation about in the very basics. When you need to make an online shop, there are who has got an online shop? Let us raise hands.
I'm working on it.
You are working on it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. For which platform?
I've got a guy who's doing through the WordPress.
WordPress.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the most used one. Okay, very good. Andres?
Started, not finished. Only about 10 months.
5-6 years ago?
4.
Beautiful brand, Stephanie. Stephanie.co.uk. Absolutely brilliant.
Your fault again.
And business, okay, you can talk about it. Actually, you can tell what
Well, the main idea was to create something for my daughter in the future. So that's why the brand name, or so-called trademark, was registered under the same name, Stephanie, which was trademark and what it's called, domain at the same time. The target is to make an online shop for female clothes, and that's something what I could, let's say, invest, evolve, and so my daughter could take over, eventually, of course. Still too small to do that. But I'm slightly stuck on that at the moment, but again, I got trademark, I got domain from Helmuts, and still working out other bits and bobs. But we'll see how it's going to go. I got a few guys, including Helmuts, who can help out with the same what he's presenting now, and I just need to get back on it, get on track, and get it done.
And this presentation will be actually targeted to people who want to create something or they have started something. Mantas, have you got a website that sells some?
Yeah, well, it's service.
So, but it sells services, yes?
Yeah, I do have now, but I'm now working to rework it.
No, that's absolutely fine. So this thing, the fourth thing is short-term goals. So when you create, there is a huge difference. There is with websites. It is not buying your house or building a house. Absolutely, these two things are totally different. Especially once you are starting up and you haven't got a clue what you want, your goals should be short-term goals. I've seen it over and over. People start making grand plans, and I'll do this, I'll do that, and we'll have 1 million customers and God, come on. Where is your product? Well, my head, something. Short-term goals. Let us start simple. Okay, Ilga has always wanted an online shop. Not at the moment, okay? Ilga, do you sell something online? No. You sell your services through Facebook, maybe? No.
Facebook, Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes.
Advertising.
Yeah. Advertising. Okay. Did you know that you can actually sell in Facebook as well?
Yeah. At the moment, I'm not interested.
Ilse, do you sell something online? No. Luta?
Yes.
And your shop is built on which platform?
My son knows.
Your son knows it. Magento. Okay, yes. So that is the most professional out of all the
Yeah.
platforms. I will touch that platform. So this presentation is short, is short and very, very basic, so nothing to worry about.
I have unsuccessful Etsy shop.
Etsy shop, yes.
Everything is unsuccessful. So I think it will be
Unsuccessful.
Yeah.
Why? Yes.
Haven't sold something.
Okay, so the question is probably the marketing knows. Well, the shop is working, isn't it?
Yeah, people are liking my works and everything.
Okay, how much does it cost to maintain it? To maintain the shop?
I'm doing everything myself.
Yes, but hosting costs nothing crazy. You have some
a
business
few
profile or
P,
something.
A few P
Few
every month.
Few people. Oh, that's fantastic. Irina, do you sell something online?
I'm thinking about this, but not yet.
Fantastic. Do you sell something online? We are doing live stream.
Sometimes. Maybe.
Sometimes. Okay, Ilza, have you got an online shop?
No.
No. Kaspars? No. No?
But she's sometimes doing some dress for Latvia and some pop stars, but that's not
Really?
information.
I heard that you did also masks.
Yeah, there's no. Yeah.
So you are in this stage. So you are in this stage, I need a website. And I want to sell online. So when I sleep, I want to be able to wake up in the morning and I want to see, hey, there are orders. Fantastic. Then you would need an online salesperson, and that is an online shop. To start an online shop, to make a choice of an online shop, there are 4 basic things. At the moment, these are more my 4 things that are in my head. With time, these might change. But what I see now, the first thing is the budget. How much money can you invest into your online shop? And how much money can you invest into maintaining your shop? There are 2 things. We all know in business, there is one thing, we make some money out of nowhere. So we have regular income and then we have something bonus, awesome. And we would think, okay, I can invest into my website. But websites need to be maintained. Depending from the platforms you are using, you will have to pay more or less. So budget is very, very, very important. And you have to be honest with you. The next thing, how big is your team? How big is your team? As well, choosing your online platform, choosing your platform, either WordPress. So WordPress is mostly for a single person or for a very, very small team, and there will be other platforms for larger teams. Then the quantity of the products. The quantity of products, I'll cover it quickly in the WordPress. One of the main WordPress issues is the more products you start putting in there, the heavier it gets, the more difficult it gets, and then short-term goals.
In what time it is difficult?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay. So the very, very main used one is WordPress. Those who were coming to the first events, we started in London, so the registrations were sold through ibf.lv. Rota, do you remember it?
Yes, WooCommerce.
Yes!
Yeah.
Bang! That's WooCommerce. So
we
WooCommerce.
start with WordPress and now we work with WooCommerce.
Oh, so you work with WooCommerce? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So there are 2 types. There are 2 types of e-commerce platforms. We have to divide them in the very, very beginning. One are self-hosted, so you would host all the files yourself, lots of technical stuff. And then there are cloud solutions. Cloud solutions will be the last. Cloud solutions are the simplest ones, the very, very simplest ones. Once you get involved into self-hosted systems, these systems, they will give you like functionalities as you wish. You are not limited to anything. You can employ coders, you can find lots and lots of plugins. In this case, WordPress is the largest CMS, so content management system in the world, absolutely the largest. And they have their main product and their main e-commerce plugin is WooCommerce. WooCommerce is developed by the developers of WordPress at home. And so WordPress is absolutely amazing. Although people think that WordPress is free, if you want to get proper functionality of your WooCommerce shop, there would be some costs. And usually you would have to buy on subscription basis different plugins. So if you would like to introduce Xero connected to your first Xero, yes, you use Xero, so that would cost 50 or 100 pounds a year and stuff like that. So there are paid plugins, and paid plugins on subscription basis. It is not like somebody trying to milk you. It is not a thing that developers are trying to milk you. They have to maintain them, they have to operate them, they have to work on code, and so there are running expenses, and of course they have to feed their families. So that's quite normal, and therefore, so WordPress is absolutely awesome, but for small companies only, not with many products. There is this Latvian guy, Kaspars knows him, yes, Jānis from Latvia, Kaspar, yes, absolutely fantastic guy. And he was working on WordPress, and he loved his WordPress site. As we are doing live stream, I'll be careful naming which industry it is, but he's got thousands of products. And even he started updating the servers and everything, and the site gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. For shops, for online shops, speed is very, very important. And one of the losers here will be WordPress. You can optimize WordPress. But WordPress plus WooCommerce for small functionality, it will make your site quite heavy. But easy to maintain. Huge plus about this, you will be able to run updates yourself. Or your friend who is a self-taught web designer, let's call them web designers. So there are web developers and web designers. Web developers are the ones who write code, and web designers are drag and drop, copy paste some code, and then do some modern stuff. So those people will be able to update the WordPress and WooCommerce. In other platforms like Magento, so you mentioned Magento, Ruta, yes, in the beginning.
No,
So yes, and if you had Magento in this case, the developer would cost around 40-50 pounds an hour if you're lucky to find one. So WordPress is fantastic for the beginning. Apps super easy to start, cheap on running. So you can run it on shared hosting. For example, our company hostmaria.com is our trademark, our brand. You can run WooCommerce on WordPress on our platform and pay just £2 a month. That's it, £2 a month, or 20 pounds a year, and that's it. And your costs are, the very, very basic costs are met. So if you're on tight budget, small team, WordPress is your answer. But if you have large quantity of products, then you have to start.
What's the large quantity of products?
Thousands. 1,000 plus.
So if I put like 100, 200 products, that would
No, 100 and 150 is nothing. Yes. WordPress is absolutely awesome. There are so many developers working on WordPress. There are so many companies creating plugins, so adding functionality for WordPress. The amount of possible plugins, of possible additions to your WooCommerce shop, it can't compare to anything. Nothing compares to WordPress. There are so many of them. You might remember the times when there were first iPhones and first Android phones. Do you remember that time? All the apps, all the decent apps were done for iPhones. Now the things have changed, or at least little-wise. But in the beginning, in the very beginning, it was like if you wanted to have decent apps, like recently we had Clubhouse. Yes, it was available only on iPhone, only on iPhone. And years ago, maybe 8 years ago, it was like that on many apps. So that's the WordPress. Cheap can be heavy, but definitely cheap and easy to maintain. So for low budget, that's the one. Open cart PrestaShop. You would need, this is a low-end professional e-commerce solution. Again, self-hosted. You would need a server for this. As well, it runs absolutely fine on shared hosting. I mean, shared hosting is cheap hosting. And I do not advise to host anything from your home. Only for development purposes. Somebody is smiling, yes. So OpenCart and PrestaShop are two fantastic platforms. You would need a specialist. Who would help you setting up OpenCart. You could set up PrestaShop yourself, but as well you would need a specialist. And I would say building a shop would start from £500 up. You can find always cheaper deals. You can always find somebody who will work for a year. You can always find somebody. And this is life. We go and people sometimes do free stuff. They devote 1 month of their time free of charge. So OpenCart, PrestaShop, fast, very fast. These sites are light, fast, effective. The checkout systems are good. Functionality, not that much. There is not much high-end functionality. You can buy plugins, but if to be compared with WooCommerce, then the choice of different plugins is so much less. Though everything that a normal business would need would be available at OpenCart PrestaShop. So for larger budgets, so if you have a shop, if you have a physical shop presence, we all know, most of us know Albini. Yes, Albini Dolai. So Victor from Ireland, he has 4 shops and very successful online shop. And his site runs on OpenCart, but it runs on dedicated server just to have even better speeds. This thing is absolutely fantastic, but it will be more expensive. Once the time will come and you will need to do updates, and updates are very important. With WooCommerce, WordPress, simple. Go inside your WP admin, click a button, update. Not here. Get ready for developers, get ready for the coders, and the coders you can rely on. You cannot go to Fiverr.com. So I run a web hosting company, and I didn't know that before, that it happens in that scale. But many of our clients go to Fiverr, and they hire developers, WordPress developers. And these so-called WordPress developers, they steal hosting accounts. And luckily for us, we keep logs, and we are able to backtrack the logs, and basically we can understand what has happened, and we return the hosting products, and with all the backups and everything to the original users. But it is with huge pain to the user itself. Lost time. Can you afford that your established online business goes offline? So if you go and choose, if you want something professional, WooCommerce is not professional. Let us take a line. WooCommerce is okay for small teams, for crafts and stuff like that. For small, it absolutely does, but it is not a professional solution. So this is where the professional solutions start. OpenCart, PrestaShop. Before that, I really loved PrestaShop. I did love PrestaShop. Both of them, it is super easy to rank them. But now, one Latin guy has shown you what you can do with OpenCart, and both are fantastic. Updating will cost you money. Developers will cost £20-30 an hour for these two platforms. Now, this is, usually you would see slides where there are lots of texts. I think they are stupid, as then people just keep reading and they don't listen and they don't say. So Magento, so WooCommerce is hobby level, self-employed level, stuff like that, small team, one seller. Open cart, PrestaShop, next one, and Magento is for professional companies, for large professional companies. Once you run Magento, it means you'll be doing custom development, you will have an in-house development team, and this is, I do not suggest using Magento to anybody who has not got budget for in-house development team. Or at least you can hire somebody, as I have places in Nepal, you can find them cheaper there. Absolutely fantastic guys. Hardworking, of course, people are people, sometimes you would have to lay off somebody. But my experience with Nepalese people, they are brilliant, and I've tried shopping around for employees, outsourced employees like in Philippines, and I'm not touching India at all. So, and Magento is expensive. So, but if you have a warehouse, if you have sales team, you would go for Magento. That is that. And then we have hosted e-commerce solutions. I thought it will be in Latvian, but in English, if you look at hosted e-commerce solutions, I call them cloud solutions. So these are Shopify, BigCommerce and Shopify are the same. The pricing is almost the same. It's Weebly, Squarespace is absolutely awesome. So these are all, so cloud solutions are very simple. It means don't worry about servers, don't worry about updates. It means security is good. Compared to your online shops, if you do not have developers, these are the most secure platforms. Still, nothing is 100% secure, but these platforms are the most secure ones. So if you are just on your own, you don't know anybody, you don't want to trust anybody, start with Shopify. I would say start with Shopify. Shopify here is the king. BigCommerce has come in and they are saying, no, we are the kings. We will take the king off, but Shopify are the kings.
Weebly is easy, Wix is complicated.
Yes, well,
I had Weebly before from my website. I have done it myself, where I only needed like for the informational use.
Yes.
So it's just you just drag everything in. It's very simple. It's just like
absolutely. These are all
but the Wix is complicated.
These all platforms are cloud platforms, and you would pay fees depending from the usage or depending from the plan. And some of these platforms do take cut from every sale you make. But if you do not sell a lot, and then I would definitely say look into these solutions. Because in the end, once you start adding up, paying for web designer this, so WooCommerce, let's say WordPress WooCommerce site. So WordPress WooCommerce site, yes. So regular maintenance starts from £50. £50, 150, 300 pounds a month. It is just a plan for somebody to look after your WordPress site. So Shopify, BigCommerce, they would not have that. The problem is you are limited to what is offered there. You are a guest there. You cannot do any changes. You're limited. For example, Squarespace will say you can use only Stripe. For Austrians, Stripe creates problems for Austrians. I have noticed that. Therefore, we offer both Stripe, PayPal, and some other payment options. If you wanted to take Bitcoin payments, I don't think that any of them offer this. Maybe Shopify does. I don't know. Maybe you have to buy a plugin or something.
I don't know from the head about that, but mostly there are plugins for a lot of e-commerce platforms.
Yes.
But we'll talk about that later.
Yes, so these are cloud solutions. Huge plus security. Another huge plus updates. Another huge plus You can definitely know your expenses. There will be no surprise expenses. So there will be no surprise, oh my God, somebody hacked my site. It can happen, and it happens quite a lot with self-hosted platforms. Therefore, backups are important. Lots and lots of things are important. In this case, these surprises will bottle, hopefully, they'll be not related to. So security is maintained and provided by these platforms themselves. Yes, that was the short. The problem with them, you are kind to them. The larger you get, the more difficult, the more expensive it gets. And you start, and once your accountant will start running the numbers, you will see how much money you are losing. And there is no freedom. So it is like, there is not much freedom. But if you are starting and growing up, these are fantastic solutions.
Quick question.
Yes.
How easy is to transfer, let's say, the same website from one of these platforms to other one? Let's say if you start as a beginner, you start with easy way, after that you grow up, you want to get something more, less expensive, and apparently you want to switch over.
With WooCommerce, there are many solutions that allow you to import many shops. But I would say usually this job would still, if you want to do it automatically, you can. I've seen unsuccessful approaches. I've seen some successful approaches, but automatic migration always involves problems. And I highly suggest, once you see that you are growing, you have to hire somebody who recreates everything.
So double it up.
You would need to invest in somebody who recreates the site with proper URL structure, with everything. There's lots and lots of work involved. There are some migration tools for many of these platforms. You would have to look into them. Yes?
My son did it in 1 month.
So he recreated
himself.
Migrated from WordPress to WooCommerce.
Oh, no.
All Stockholm.
Oh, okay. So at the beginning you had WordPress.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's not safety.
okay, but WordPress does not sell
Special
itself.
payment methods, not safety.
Okay, that does sound strange because WooCommerce just adds e-commerce solution to WordPress. So WordPress by itself, it is a blogging platform mostly.
Yeah.
But then adding
galleries.
WooCommerce, yes. So you would create galleries and stuff like
Not for
that.
selling, it's not good.
Yes.
Not safety. Payment methods
And then-
different scam.
Or maybe you did use some other solution, not WooCommerce, and then in the beginning, yes.
So what do you mean not safe for selling? So if I've got the WordPress now and what the options, the payment options would be like what?
With WooCommerce, anything.
No, say WordPress.
Anything. So in regards of options, WooCommerce will be your number one. There are most options there. You can accept any type of, like most types of cryptocurrencies. You can do bank transfers. You can take Stripe, PayPal, whatever. Everything is there. Everything is there.
Use PayPal, Stripe, and that.
Yes. And you can integrate that. So we all know UPS, for example, DHL, yes?
Mhm.
So these are courier services, like professional, huge ones. And yes, did you actually know that FedEx started from guys with 2 bicycles? Yeah? Maybe that's marketing, I don't know. But I know they have airplanes and stuff like that, yes.
But that shopping WordPress, through the WordPress, you said that you had a WordPress before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it wasn't secure, like
No.
with the payments.
No.
So
In the beginning. But WooCommerce is good. WooCommerce is good.
Yeah.
WooCommerce is good.
But I'm already making this online shop
More
with
secure.
WordPress.
Yes, but so you see, in the beginning you have WordPress,
Yeah.
and then you would add, so to have e-commerce online shop functionality, you would need to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, one or another e-commerce solution.
Mhm.
By itself, WordPress does not have e-commerce functionality. You need to add that functionality. And to be able to add that functionality, you would go to plugins, add plugins, and you would say WooCommerce, install it, and there is only click, next, fill in the details, and your online shop is ready.
Yeah.
Then just connect it to your
Not me
Stripe. and-
doing it.
You can absolutely do it yourself. You don't have to. If you are able to make yourself a Facebook page, really, if you can make yourself a Facebook page, you'll be able to create yourself a WordPress website. And there is another thing. Don't listen to web designers like me. Web designers are always about, oh, this has to be this nice, and that has to be this, and that is art. No, absolutely not. Websites should be very simple. A person comes in with a problem. Websites should be simple. They should be as fast as possible. And simple, and so a person comes in, you have to be able to take the person and say, hello to person, you are at the right place. So he comes in, okay, I'm at the right place, then you will take his hand. Just imagine the website has to take person's hand and drag to the points where he or she checks out. By paid, and he returns to his normal life and expects delivery next Wednesday. That's it. Do not overload it with information and stuff. You make separate pages
It
for that.
depends what you're using it for.
Sorry?
It depends for what you're using it for. Because like in my case, my website, it's not that simple because I've got like, let's say, multiple pages. So one would be that leads to the bookings so that you can make a booking.
Absolutely,
so
yes.
it's connected with
Yes.
the calendar and everything. So I would have the online shop. So the online
Especially
shop.
when you have lots and lots of services, you have to be very, very careful how you create your landing page. Do not confuse the person.
Landing page.
Landing page means the first page where a person comes in. So when a person comes into a website, they will see the first screen, and then there's something. So this is the landing page, the first page where the person lands on. Once you would check, you can actually go and check your competitors who are spending money on Google Ads. Click on those ads, and you will see that after clicking these ads, you would go to URLs, to addresses that are not the main page. They are specifically created for people who click on ads. And these are landing pages, crafted to take care of the problem for that person. And so the landing page is where person comes in, and then the first part is called the folding page. So folding page is what he sees in the screen before he starts scrolling down.
Any advice what I can include in this landing page?
What you can include in
So
landing
what
page?
should I have on this landing page that would
Okay, the
attract
simplest thing. Your logo is something that defines you. Large enough, not small enough. Large enough. Then these are the standards. Then up here, I would highly suggest your company information, your address, and your contact information. So something that people would check. If somebody is checking, for example, we have Host Maria, and one of the main keywords for as we are doing lots of advertising, and one of the keywords our customers are looking are reviews, and I can see Host Maria reviews. People are searching for reviews. They don't know us, and then they are looking for. And then we try to do everything possible that on the page they see authority that the company exists. It is a real company. We have an American company as well. We have this, that. We are members of Federation of Small Businesses, of this, of Latvian Chamber of Commerce, of that. We have been established there. There are some registration numbers. So those will go on the bottom. But the fast ones, for a person to make a decision and pick up the phone, let's say, hey, I want to try that cryotherapy. So, big phone number, person will take up the phone and call them. I'm the person who would call. I'm really the person. I go into a shop, even when I go into a shop, I don't bother looking around at what is where. I'm looking for a salesperson. Hey, hello, can you help me please? Where is that and that? Faster, more efficient. But all the people are different. And for those people who like using phones, that's me, put up the phone. Every call will be a money call. Those people who are calling, making, yes. And then your products, be careful with slideshows. Be careful with slideshows. especially with slideshows that do not mean anything. I see over and over. Beautiful pictures and Alps or something that is not related to your business, and make it that people will understand it is not a fake. There are so many fake websites now. Yes?
How important chat option?
Chat option. We use TalkTo. TAWK.to. It is a free web chat solution. It requires a person who manages it. I have been using live chat options for 10 years plus. Sometimes I've been using them, sometimes not. Once you have an e-commerce shop, I would say you have to use live chat.
So how does it work? Live chat. You have to be like physically there on the phone all the time, like getting the.
I will show it later. Later on, I can show you how it works on computer. But now we have to take a short break.
Yeah.
Before
It's
that.
working?
Live chats are.
People's chatting.
Live chats. Let me show you. So here is my computer. So I would go. Now I need to connect to this Wi-Fi. So live chat programs are absolutely amazing. Very, very often, why do you need to use live chats? You have a customer with his credit card. He comes in with a card. He wants to pay. He cannot open your page. Something doesn't load. Email doesn't work. And it happens to all the websites, especially self-hosted. It will happen that your email will not work. I think that my password has changed. No, I don't know. Let me put that offline, that no one sees me. So at the moment, you could see there. Let me show you. So this is the live chat. So we are using TalkTo. I can see that there are people from India. So India, what is there? Poland, Iraq, and Pakistan. Depending from the hours, we have more or less people. Usually we have, 10 to 20 people online all the time. And when people see that our support agents are online, they will start to chat. So simple pre-sales questions, where is my product? There are lots and lots of people who love using live chats. Why? Because they create the fastest response to their question. They do not have to create support tickets who will be answered after a day. They do not have to call or wait for a call. Simple, fast. If you are selling something and if you sit in the office, then definitely use live chat solutions. You will. It is just a case of providing customer support for your clients. This is one thing why we hate Facebook. So if you sell on Facebook something, just try to get their customer support. Have you ever?
It's an important question we need to write in chat when we communicate with our customers.
What are the important ones?
How to sell. So I always in chat I finished my sentence with question. Would you like a discount? Would you like to buy now?
Oh, yes.
I always finished with question.
Oh, that's nice. Yes.
I don't know.
My experience with live chat is that a person comes in for the. Now let us leave it as the last one. So our experience is following. A person will come in and say, hey, I have this problem. Okay, and once you answer him, there is a temptation to say, thank you, bye-bye, go. Come on, we have live chat sometimes with 2 or 3 people at the same time. And I have a customer support team. So my Nepalese guys and a girl, and they keep working on the screens. There are 2 or 3 people talking at the same time. Somebody is opening a ticket. It is a full-time work. When it is quiet, it is good for that. I can watch movies, relax, and drink coffee. But when it is busy, it is busy. And then you are tempted. Okay, so solution found. Okay, go. But it is very, very important at that point to ask one question. Is there anything else I can help you with? And only at that point, a person would see, okay, that guy or girl really cares. And now the real questions will come out. So the first question was just the tip of the iceberg. I see it over and over. The first question is some temporary quick solution. So how to close the window, how to do this and that. And do you do that or do that? Is there anything else I can help you with? Next question comes, if you answer that question and ask again, is there anything else I can help you with? You will get better, deeper questions, and the customer will be satisfied. Not for life. Customers are never satisfied for life. They are unreliable. Customers are always unreliable. They will go for cheaper prices, for better options, next week, next month, tomorrow. They find a better solution, they'll move away. And the same applies to Bitcoin. Sadly, these are people, they are unreliable. Okay, yes, I think that's it, and then we can talk about emails, and then we'll have the larger break. Email thing will be shorter. And then we'll have Mr. Bitcoin talking, and then Pablo will be talking about online and taxes. Thank you.
Last question.
Yes.
How important reviews for website, for example, Trustpilot, when people start to review?
Super important. Super important. People are social animals. We want to see that somebody else like us. So a person like me have liked the product or service. It is when you sell advertising, it is always the same. Are people like me buying it? If people like me are buying, then if they buy, are they happy? And one of the successes of Amazon platform are the reviews. Amazon is probably #1 place in the world today to check the reviews for any product in the world. #1 for the let me say black world, for the white world. Yes, well, let us be honest. Yes, I call it yes. So for the Western world, #1 place to check the reviews is Amazon. They get so much traffic just because of that. And then there is that is the question about your brand. If somebody is saying, let us, Mantas, what was your surname? Boges. So Mantas Boges. If somebody would go into Google and say, okay, who is Mantas? Mantas Boges. He would type in Mantas Boges. And then he would see, okay, Facebook profile comes in first. Yes?
Not really.
Probably Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook should come up first. Second one is LinkedIn profile. Have you got a LinkedIn profile? Yes. So LinkedIn profile will almost always come the second one. So if somebody is looking, if you have a LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn, so it is very important to have a LinkedIn. And then anything else. Company's house will come up, and then lots of other things. And Pinterest and all the other good crap. Need one, no, for some need. And that's about ordinary people. About companies, it is a bit different. Once you put in your company name, lots and lots of resources are competing for the first spot. Your website will quite often will not be in the first spot. You have to make sure that your website is optimized. Your online shop definitely says your company name in big letters, in header, in footer, to rank #1 for your company name. Company house wants to rank better than you. There are so many resources, company information websites. And then the second spot, usually the second, third spot will be reviews. Got that? Reviews will be the second or third spot.
Trustpilot.
Absolutely. And Trustpilot ranks the best. Trustpilot, and then yes, Google My Business, but Google Business Ads they are different. They rank a bit different.
Who uses Trustpilot for us?
I use.
But you
I use
have to pay
Trustpilot.
for it, right? You pay for the user.
No. I use, I started using Trustpilot. I use free plan. Their paid plans are expensive. They are expensive, but they are worth it. With free plan, your system will automatically send out requests to verify users. So in Trustpilot, you have 2 times reviews. Your real customers verified by Trustpilot. And then there are just people who would browse, who would just go in just by their own incentive and say, hey, I really like summer rugs. I really love summer rugs. And they would go, they would find summer rugs is there. I love her products. She's awesome. I met Sarah.
Who can use Trustpilot? Only customers
Anyone.
or
Who can use?
Who can write?
So reviews are left by users, by mostly ordinary people. But then why you see lots and lots of user reviews who have left only 1 review or only 2 reviews? It is just because the systems, for example, in our case, Host Maria, we send out 100 emails every month. That is the limit of the free account, to our existing users and ask them after we have provided support or if they have bought something or renewed something. And there is an automatic system email sent out, tracked by Trustpilot. So they are tracking, they know that this is a real customer. And then there is always an email, there is also an email delivered to that same person and says, hey, we noticed that you like this, that you use this service, would you mind giving it a review? But then, Trustpilot is also very dangerous, very freaking dangerous. And I want to be careful choosing the words. Because there are morons in the world, people are unreliable, the customers are unreliable. And there can be a person who comes to your online shop, he bought at a sale this beautiful sofa, yes, from you, and he didn't read something, or he didn't read it. Let us say your van broke down, the delivery van broke down, and he wasn't there, and he waited that day, he called you up, you apologized, he didn't like something, he said, okay, I'll wait tomorrow, and it wasn't delivered tomorrow as well. Sometimes what these people do, when people are angry, talking about inspiration to leave a review. Anger is the top reason why people go and leave reviews. Therefore, there are many, many horrible reviews. And then they will go to Trustpilot. They will go to all the possible places. They will look up your search. They will go to Trustpilot, to Google Maps, to that, to that, and they will leave reviews. So therefore, they are very, very important, and you have to respond to them. Okay, that's it.